1 or week 2. Basically the whole team, because they say that's the biggest improvement.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because this is really our first practice since week 1 to week 2. I mean, we had a walkthrough, so we'll see as the week goes along, but you better be, I mean, everybody, myself, every coach, every player should be improving, each week. And it doesn't mean that you won't still have, setbacks. Not everything just goes like that, but you got to be able to snap out of those quick. And when you do have those, so I've seen, I already saw some things today, but there'll be a ton to correct going into tomorrow, into Thursday, into Friday, all the way into Saturday night.
And when it comes to correcting that, and even as a teaching tool, how valuable is it to have game film on tape to say, look, see, this is what we're talking about, these are the situations?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, it definitely helps, to have some game film of ourselves, to have an opponent's film from this year, which, obviously going into the last game we had neither. We had scrimmage film and we had last year's film, so that definitely helps. But every team's in the same boat at the start of the year. We're all in that same boat. So, but there were definitely some corrections in game 1. We probably went more over game 1 than we will in some future games. Doesn't mean you won't review them, but sometimes you cut it up and you review the stuff that needs to be reviewed and you move on to the next opponent. Where this one, we did spend a lot of time on us. And with the Thursday game, you had some extra time too, so it allowed us to do that.
Oklahoma State, a different defense this year. So what are the challenges of preparing for that?
Yeah, you just got to get the reps. You just got to get the reps, get the communication, get the looks. So our show teams are very important this week. And we've, with a couple extra days and with some prep time that way, it's given us a chance to go up against a different defense and have a couple more, even if they're not full-on practices, they're still walkthroughs where you're walking through the looks, you're studying the film. But you're still prepared. You're prepared for things they could do differently. You're prepared for things they've potentially done in the past, the coordinator's done in the past. It's not just basing it off one game. So it's very much still adjusting when you get into game 2, because you don't know for sure. You really never know, but you definitely don't know when they only have one game on tape from the season.
And a big style contrast from the defense that you went up against in the first week, the odd front, 3 safeties. What are some of the challenges with that?
Oh, it's just, those teams that play the 3 safeties, they can disguise some things. They can get into one high or 2 high, type of looks based on what that middle player does. We have packages of that too. But a lot of teams around the country run different versions of that. We face that. Sometimes it's more of their third down package rather than their base. So, we've coached against it. I think the toughest thing, regardless of scheme, is how their players are coached, what they do, and I'm very impressed. They're a well-coached team. They're a strong football team. They know who they are, and you can see that even in game 1, that they know who they are, where they need to line up. So it just, no matter what their scheme is, we have to execute against very good, well-coached, strong football players, and that's what they are.
As you evaluated Jaden, what did you like about week 1, and what's kind of the emphasis this week?
I thought a couple things he did well, and I know it's kind of a tale of 2 halves a little bit, but we have to be mature enough, because quite honestly, their team handled the 2.5-hour break better than our team, regardless of even the results. You just saw it just in sharpness or penalties or whatever it might be. Regardless of the final score, their team handled that. So that's on us to do a better job to handle, adverse situations or situations that go, and the same with Jaden. So what I'm getting to is Jaden, again, will learn to go through highs and lows, or even moments that aren't perfect, and be able to respond to them. But for a first-year guy, some of the things I liked, he stood in there and threw the ball. He hadn't been hit for a while. You don't get hit in practice as a quarterback, but when you really go back, I felt like his eyes stayed downfield, and he got hit. Even drew a late hit or 2, or during that game. So he had no problem. Even on his first deep completion, he got hit in the mouth as he threw it. So I was very impressed with that, and just that poise. I never felt like when he came to the sideline and talked to me on the phones, he always seemed calm. Even in the second half when things weren't perfect, he seemed calm. So you never know what you're going to get until you get in game situations in that regard. Now it's just cleaning up some of the sharpness. There was certain drops that didn't mirror up with the routes. There were certain disconnect in the run game. There were just sharpness things that we have to clean up, and that's common with any quarterback, but especially someone making his first start.
Did you sense he was getting into a rhythm there late in the first half?
Yeah.
A couple touchdowns.
Yeah, I definitely did. And I mean, the numbers would say that too. Just in terms of his, just his completion percentage to moving the ball on 3 out of 5 drives. You always want to even be better than that, but he definitely, I think there was somewhat of a rhythm there. But again, that's no excuse not to get into that rhythm in the second half, because they dealt with the same circumstances as us. So anytime you ended up in that situation, whatever you're dealing with, they're dealing with it too, whatever that might be. So we got to be better when we face those type of moments, and myself included, all of us.
What did you think of Cam on Thursday?
What's that?
What'd you make of Cam on Thursday?
You know, I thought Cam was solid. You know, I mean, there's things he can clean up. I have a lot of respect for Cam. I've seen him play a lot of football. So I think, you know, some of his tracks, some of his runs where he can hit them, he can get better. You know, in that way, his ball security, he can get better. But when it's time to make to break a tackle and score, like on the first one, he's going to bring his own block, so to speak. You know, when it's time to make a catch on 3rd and 5, he's going to make that tough catch. He has great hands out of the backfield. He concentrates. He's a tough. But he'd be the first to tell you, I got to clean up some of the little things. Some of those, they're not even little things that become big. Where I put my ball, is my ball in the outside hand? Do I have great leverage at the end of the game? You know, ball leverage. Am I hitting the runs on the right track and not bouncing them when I shouldn't? Some of those things are the things he would look at to clean up. But you expect that at every position, and all of us for that matter.
What about the run blocking and the run replacement blocking? How that looks?
Yeah, we just, you know, we'll continue. I felt like we knew where we were going, but we weren't necessarily moving the line of scrimmage like we're capable, and those guys are going to take that to heart. You know, I love that group up front, including the tight ends, and they're going to take that to heart, and they're going to fire off, and they're going to continue to get better through the season, trusting, truly moving the LOS. So I thought our assignment stuff was good, but some of the things that we can do truly getting off and going will improve as we go.
You have some rotations or backup guys that are playing a lot of reps. What's that look like from a personnel standpoint up front?
Yeah, I think we're going to need it. Most years I've ever coached, I've needed anywhere from 8 to 10 O-linemen through a year. You know, so you're going to have to count on it. The season can be long, it's grueling, it's pounding. You know, you play against day in and day out. Plus these guys, you say other positions don't go live. They're live every time they have shoulder pads on. So they're live during the week too. They're always banging. So whatever that rotation looks, I'm fine with, you know, and Coach Saga's obviously a vet and knows exactly what he's doing, but we have an opportunity to get 8, 9, 10 guys that all can give us a chance to win up front as we go through the season.